From the beautiful city of Los Angeles, California, we bring you the Gimme Three podcast. Hello and welcome, cinephiles, cinema lovers, and movie appreciators to the Gimme Three podcast, the podcast where we pick three films connected by one theme. I'm Nicholas Ibarra. I'm joined, as always, by my amazing co-host, Bella F. Stratus. Bella, how you doing today?
Doing well, yeah. We've got a very special episode for you guys today.
Yeah, I should be. The better question to be asking you is, are you ready for some football?
Ready as ever. Ready as I can be.
Football season is upon us, and much to the dismay of Bella, I can't turn down the opportunity to watch and discuss sports movies, the greatest genre of movies ever. So, Bella, we went through this when we did our baseball films episode. You are you're not the biggest sports movie nut. I got a feeling I didn't sway you either on this one, huh?
Well, you got lucky with baseball because I actually like baseball.
Okay.
Football is another league of its own, so to speak.
That's true. That is true.
But yeah, we'll see. I have a lot of thoughts this episode. So regardless, I should say I'm excited for this one to get into it.
It should be fun. And all this means is I'm going to have to keep trying. So at some point, you might as well just lie to me. Otherwise, I'm going to keep slinging these sports movie episodes at you until you see the light.
Okay, noted.
Well, love football movies or hate them, this episode will be for you. But for all of our listeners not pounding haterade listening today, we've got it's an exciting time. You know, football is back for anybody who likes football. Sundays they're different. There's a different energy. I know I'm ready to have my entire weekly mental health dependent on a game that I have absolutely zero control over. But for this episode specifically, we are talking about high school football movies where not only balls and helmets are flying across the field, but hormones and egos. And it didn't intend to work out this way, but I think these three films talk to each other in different ways, not connected to football even. And it's kind of also a nice segue from our coming of age episode, I think, as well. You know, We got movies about teenagers finding out what they got in the tank. They're filled with dreams and aspirations, the pursuit of those dreams, and sometimes the realities that may shake them. So grab a beer, put on your favorite jersey, and get ready to talk some ball. Bella, start us off.
All right, we're kicking off the season with a classic, a pillar of sports movies, and maybe even the pinnacle of football films, in my opinion. Oh, God, I should have looked up. I meant to look up how to pronounce this man's name. Can you help me out here at all?
Boaz Yakim.
Thank you.
Who I've met, by the way. I actually drove Boaz Yakim around because he was directing a movie that was going to be produced by Lawrence Bender while I was working for Lawrence Bender. And I had to pick him up from the airport one time.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So I knew who he was. I was a big fan of his work. So that was kind of like a thrill for me, and a very sweaty palmed young 22-year-old Nick Ibarra driving around the director of Remember the Titans.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
In my 1994 Honda Accord.
Amazing. So yes, Boaz Yakim's 2000 drama, Remember the Titans. The film takes us to Virginia in 1971, the summer before T.C. Williams High School is set to be integrated. Coach Yost, played by Will Patton, has just been demoted after 15 winning seasons, and in his place steps up Coach Boone, played by none other than Denzel Washington. Coach Boone is thrown straight into a tedious situation with very high stakes. Not only does he need to build a winning team, but he must also navigate the racial divide, forcing his team to overcome their differences and breaking down his players' walls till they see each other as more than just teammates, as brothers. Defensive captains Julius and Gary, played by Wood Harris and Ryan Hurst, seem to clash the most out of everyone. At first, they can't stand each other. Their racial biases are bleeding into everything, both on and off the field. While the team might be integrated on paper, the segregation couldn't be more apparent, and Coach Boone is not having it. Boone enforces new protocols and pushes them hard, pairing players of different races as roommates, forcing them to learn about each other's lives, and in one of the more memorable moments, military style, wakes them up for a 3 a.m. run to the Gettysburg Cemetery, where he tells them plainly, you can stay divided and fail, or come together to be unstoppable.
This is Gettysburg. This is where they fought the Battle of Gettysburg. 50,000 men died right here on this field, fighting the same fight that we're still fighting amongst ourselves today. This green field right here, painted red, bubbling with the blood of young boys, smoke and hot lead pouring right through their bodies. Listen to their souls, man. I killed my brother with malice in my heart, hatred, destroyed my family. You listen. You take a lesson from the dead. If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground, we too will be destroyed. Just like they were. I don't care if you like each other or not, but you will respect each other. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll learn to play this game like men.
Moved by these words and unified by the motivation to win, the team pulls it together. And would you look at that? Mutual respect and support on the field starts to, affect the team outside of the game as well. Even Julius and Gary find common ground with an enemies to brothers arc that truly becomes the heart of the film.
Yeah.
Everyone doubted him. Many even actively worked against him, but Coach Boone proves them wrong, shocking family and friends alike when the Titans return home united, stronger, and excited to play. Unfortunately, unity on the field doesn't erase the harsh reality of the world around them. And the first day of newly integrated school shatters the team's bubble and applies an extra layer of pressure that kind of shakes their bonds. But the team sticks it out, they stick together, even when Boone's job is threatened just before their very first game. If he loses even one game, he's out, he's done. Against the odds, the Titans go undefeated, but not without interference. In the semifinal, the school board tries to rig the game against them. So you know what? It's time for Coach Yost to step up, who's spent much of the film on the sidelines, to be honest. Yost steps in, sacrificing his shot at the Hall of Fame to expose the corruption and protect his new friend and Coach Boone. And the Titans win fair and square, advancing to the championship. Hell yeah, let's go. Unfortunately, the celebration does not last long. That night, Gary is in a devastating car crash that leaves him paralyzed. But instead of breaking the team, it lights a fire in him. They rally for him, pulling off a dramatic comeback and winning the state championship. The film closes a decade later at Gary's funeral, after he's just gone on to win a Paralympic gold medal. He tragically dies in another car accident. The Titans reunite, not just remembering their championship season, but also honoring the lifelong bonds that changed them all forever. Remember the Titans is an amazing example of what the sports drama can be. In the midst of some fantastic game day moments, it also gives us an emotional story of leadership, of unity, and shows us the way a team can reflect the struggles of the world around them and yet make changes in themselves and the world to make it a better place for all. So long-winded synopsis, but Nick, kind of just gave away the whole movie, but wanted to make sure for all our listeners who haven't seen it, you get the full picture. Nick, what are your thoughts on Remember the Titans?
This is a favorite of mine. I adored this movie when it came out. My mom and I would watch it all the time. It was kind of a weekend watch for us consistently when it wasn't football season. So, we kept the football spirit alive. Yeah. And I hadn't watched it in a really long time. Like I said, I'd still seen it probably like dozens and dozens of times. So I know literally every single line of dialogue in the movie. One of which I use all the time in some of the fantasy football leagues that I commission. Whenever I do some rule that people are unhappy with, I always say,
"This is no democracy. It is a dictatorship. I am the law."
I love it.
So watching it again after years and years, there was a few things that I just appreciated a little bit more. One is this movie moves like a freaking freight train.
Oh, yeah.
During the opening credits. They establish, all this racial tension stemming from, the school integrating. They establish these two head coaches pretty well and pretty holistically. And they set up the inciting incident of like the Coach Yost losing his job. All of that happens during the opening credits of the film. Just outstanding work. And then now you could say this even more with hindsight. The casting, my gosh. I mean, obviously Denzel and Will Patton, great, awesome. But the young stars before they were stars in this movie, you got Ethan Suplee, you got Hayden Panettiere, or however you say your last name. You've got Kate Bosworth, Ryan Gosling in one of his first movies. Wood Harris is fantastic in this. Donald Faison, who I guess was already pretty well known because of Clueless, but still, I mean, just a stacked unit of actors in this one.
Oh, yeah. No, I completely agree. I think the performances are such a big part of this. And like exactly as you said, I mean, Hayden Panettiere is literally the cutest thing on earth in this movie, and also hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, she gives it 100% every single line, which is great because most of her lines are just her like screaming her head off in frustration at the players. So she's so funny, so sassy, and definitely a key piece of like the heart of this film.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love Wood Harris as well. Avon Barksdale forever, and he's just fantastic in this.
He does this stuff with his eyes consistently that just like pull you in, these like little squints, and like he's always just staring directly at the actor who's opposite of him, but he like reacts solely with his eyes, and they don't look away, but they just like do these micro movements. They're just like, my God, how are you doing that? But you're telling a story here. It's really, really impressive. Yeah. I like that, man.
Oh yeah.
Did you have so you liked this one?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I loved this. I got into this one. I mean, I was damn near crying by the end. Like I was on the edge of my seat for their games. I waited the whole movie for Gary and Julius to kiss. That was my only disappointment. But yeah, I was not expecting such a great kind of like love story or friendship, whatever you want to call it, to be the center of this film.
Little bromance.
Least, yeah, God, I loved it. It was very touching, and I thought those two had great chemistry. Like I really believed their bond. And then Denzel, I mean, it goes without saying, is just a master of his craft. You know, he brings the heart, the emotion, the devotion, and his big booming voice just makes him perfect as a coach.
Yeah. He's like great as a coach because, you know, and we see this in one of the other movies that we're going to talk about and so many other football movies. It's like sometimes actors who are playing coaches, it's very tempting to go big, and to be like loud and bombastic all the time. Denzel is almost more menacing when he is quiet, and when he like leans in and whispers, you're just like, oh fuck.
Now we're in trouble. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, the most powerful moment and maybe one of my favorite scenes of the movie is that scene that you mentioned where they make that run to the Battle of Gettysburg, Gettysburg Field, and he's talking about how they need to come together and respect each other. Otherwise it's just going to end up like those guys did, which I thought was, poignant to revisit that speech right now.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a favorite scene, Bella?
And okay, well, another reason I was sold on loving this film is it's got a little bit of a musical vibe to it. Music plays a key part. And I loved that locker room scene where they're all just belting out Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. And I also loved their song or chant and dance that they do every time they come out on the field for each game.
Yeah.
That got me hype.
Yeah, it's basically wall-to-wall needle drops in this film, and it's all like late 60s, early 70s soul and rock and roll. So the soundtrack just kicks ass, and it's got fucking Disney money, so it's just like they got every amazing song from the era under the sun and edited together in such a brilliant way. Sonja came home at some point while I was watching this one afternoon, and she was like in the other room while I was watching it. And it was like during the time when they were at summer camp together and doing stuff. And she was in the room for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes or something. She came out and she was like, they have played, I think, like 7 songs since I have been in that other room. It's like, yeah, it's just wall to wall. It's like, okay, that song's done. New scene, new song.
That's so true.
But yeah, it kicks out. It's a great soundtrack. And, when you got great music, it does contribute to the movie being amazing. Just ask Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, yeah. Did you have a favorite scene?
I mean, it's hard for me to say. I just love them all.
Yeah, especially when you've seen it a million times.
Yeah. I think
one.
The whole sequence of them at camp, I think, is just tremendous because that's like a movie within a movie. They come in so heated and so angry at each other, and they're fighting and they're pushing each other, and even the coaches aren't really getting along. And in like that 15 minutes, so much storytelling is done. So many characters are developed in that scene also. Again, kind of like I was talking about with the opening, it's just like, it is just such economical writing and economical filmmaking. It was really impressive to revisit it as a screenwriter now and a filmmaker. Just be like, my God, they are just fucking firing on all cylinders here. So that whole sequence is just really impressive. And then the final game is just thrilling, absolutely thrilling.
Yeah, agreed. I love it. Yeah, I had a great time. I was really surprised. I mean, okay, this was the one that I was like, I'm sure I'll enjoy this just because it's such a classic.
And it's Denzel. I mean, it's like,
it's Denzel. And yeah, like you said, I mean, just the way that everything unfolds is you couldn't not be interested at the very least. And oh my God, I gasped over Gary's car crash, like literally out loud. I was like, oh, no. I was so in it. And Wood Harris acting in that scene when he learns about it and goes to the hospital, it just, dagger in your heart.
Yeah.
So good.
I do have here, gimme 3 pieces of trivia for Remember the Titans.
I want to play a game.
I'm going to start with the bad news, and then I'll get into some better ones. As of August 2025, which is last month, The only person depicted, real person depicted as a primary character in the film that is still alive is Ronnie Sunshine Bass.
No way.
Yeah. Both Coach Boone and Coach Yost, who remained friends after this incredible season together. By the way, we should mention this is based on a true story.
Oh, yes.
So the real Coach Boone and the real Coach Yost both died in 2019, just a few months apart from each other. Julius Campbell and Petey Jones, they also died in 2019. Louis Lastic, who's Ethan Suplee's character, and Daryl Blue Stanton both died in 2017. And Jerry Rev Harris died in 2021. And I found this shocking too. Even Cheryl Yost, Coach Yost's daughter, died in 1996. She was only 36 when she passed away.
Oh my God.
Very sad.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then, of course, Gary Bertier died in 1981, as they mention, as we see, in the film. So anyways, Sunshine, keep it going. Keep the love alive for T.C. Williams.
Hell yeah. What a great character as well. I actually
Yeah.
wrote down in my notes that he was one of my favorites.
Great character. And second episode in a row where that actor appears in a movie that we are talking about. He plays the neighbor in 13 that they nearly have a threesome with.
Oh my God. I was like, where have I seen him before? That is so funny. I didn't catch that.
There he is. Piece of trivia number 2. After Boaz Yakin was hired to direct the movie, producer Jerry Bruckheimer realized that Yakin didn't know jack squat about American football. So he's like, oh, shit. This guy doesn't know diddly squat about the football. So he arranged for Yakin to attend a football camp where he picked up enough info in 2 weeks to just resume full speed work ahead afterwards. It's like, Jesus Christ.
That's insane.
Yeah. Maybe you should have asked him that.
Might have been important, but who's to say?
Right. Well, he did a good job in any case.
Yeah.
And then, sports movies in general, especially movies based off of real life stuff, they have to embellish, some things. Sometimes you have to twist and turn some things to make them more interesting. Some things did actually happen in this movie, like Coach Boone really did force the black players and the white players to, sit next to the opposite race and room with each other of the opposite race during camp. He said that is true. But that thrilling championship game sequence that we were talking about in real life wasn't so thrilling. The final score of the championship game was 27-0, won by T.C. Williams High School. And their opponent, Andrew Lewis High School, totaled negative rushing yardage during that game. So it was complete domination. So there you have it. Give me 3 pieces of trivia for Remember the Titans.
Love it.
Any final thoughts?
It's a film that leaves tears on your cheek, but a smile on your face. It's very old school, very feel good. A film for the whole family, as we say.
It is a film for the whole family. It's a Disney joint. By the way, the movie, the original script was like riddled with cuss words in the script and whatnot. And then Disney was like, excuse me, we don't think that people should talk like that. It's like, oh, God. So they did a test screening, this movie, Disney. And I don't know if he was at it or what, but Paul Thomas Anderson spoke to a podcast at one point talking about how after the test screening, which scored like through the roof, like got 98% positive reviews in the test screening or something. Disney was still like, I don't know. This thing, I don't know. Gee whiz. I don't know if we got something here. It's like, God damn.
I love this Disney voice. It sounds just like them.
I don't know. I just don't. All right. Remember the Titans. You can watch it on Disney Plus. Yeah, watch that. And 13, as we talked about last week on Disney Plus. Amazing.
Great double feature right
there. A great double feature. All right, which is going to bring us to a lesser-known movie. It's called All the Right Moves. It's from 1983. It's directed by one of the all-time great cinematographers, Michael Chapman. That's fun. By the way, I'm already on a tangent. I haven't even started the freaking movie here. Michael Chapman, amazing cinematographer who turned director for this film. The director of photography for this film, Jean Debont, ended up directing Speed.
That's right.
Incredible.
So
it's written,
awesome.
Yeah. It's written by Michael Caine. Not that Michael Caine, but a different Michael Caine. And it is starring Tom Cruise, Craig T. Nelson, Leah Thompson, and Chris Penn. And it's 1983, so they're all young. The film follows Steph Georgievic. And Steph lives in a small mill town in western Pennsylvania. Most of the men who grow up in this town, they end up working at this steel mill. Hard job, grueling job. And as time moves on and recessions start coming up, it makes it more of a dead-end job. Steph wants out of this joint. He wants to get out of this place, and he's got a plan to get out of this place, and it's football. He is the star cornerback on his high school football team. Not amazing, but he's good enough to where, you might be able to get a scholarship to go to college and become an engineer. That's what he thinks he wants to be. But there's one problem. Steph's kind of an asshole. He's arrogant. He's pompous. He's a bit selfish. And all this ego clashes with his head coach, Coach Nickerson, played by Craig T. Nelson. Well, that's a coach name if you ever heard one. Coach Nickerson. And his girlfriend, Leah Thompson, who is a lovable band geek. So when Steph makes the wrong play during an important game, instead of owning up to his mistake, he calls out his coach for making mistakes. And then his coach is like, a year off this team, you son of a bitch. And so Steph goes out and he gets drunk. And he gets drunk with some bad people in town. Everybody is really high on this high school football team. And they're pissed that the coach lost this big game. So they end up going to the coach's house, Steph, drunk with these drunk adults, and they vandalize coach's home. And Nickerson is pissed. And with only a few weeks left to prove himself to universities, Georgievic has now lost his ticket out of this mill town. So without the sport that has, it was supposed to be his lifeline. It was supposed to be his ticket out of here. Steph now has to find himself. He's got to find out who he really is. He's got to find out who he wants to be. And he's got to find out how to become a better liar, because all movie he keeps referring to himself as a 5'10" white cornerback. Tom Cruise, you are not 5'10", fool.
Keep dreaming.
Anyway, Bella, what did you think of All the Right Moves?
Oh, man, we got to have a serious talk because...
Let me preface this. I had never seen this movie before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked this solely for the purpose of, one, the logline sounded interesting to me. Two, I looked up some list of like the 10 best football films by some website that I respected, and I forget what it is now. And this was like number 3 on the list. And then,
oh, wow.
And then reason number 3, as our regular listeners know, my wife and our producer, Sonja Mereu, is on a year-long, deep Tom Cruise. She's on cruise control, basically. She's trying to watch all his movies.
Oh, that's right.
So I was like, fuck it. We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So anyways, I had never seen this movie before. But anyways, let's talk about your thoughts.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better because I was like, is he trying to kill me? An 80s football drama starring Tom Cruise with a Tom Cruise dick flash? No, I have my own beef with Tom Cruise. I'm not a fan. I'm immune to his charm. Get him out of here. But I thought I was going to really suffer through this, and to be fair, I kind of did, but after watching one of the other movies we're talking about today, in retrospect, I actually did think about this film some more after watching it, and I started to like it more, like the more I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, I get that this was probably like an absolute banger back in the day. I mean, I can appreciate its charm. I actually did mention this movie to my dad because he was asking what I watched this week for the podcast. And he was like, oh, no way. He loves this movie.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
He grew up watching it with his older brother and remembered it quite fondly. And I think it left a big impact on him. Although he did not remember that Tom Cruise hangs dong in it. So did he really watch it? Who's to say?
I mean, it's very quick dong.
It's very quick, but I was like, no. It's just funny because it was funny because I had that reaction and then I looked up the Letterboxd reviews and almost all of them are about the penis flash.
Yeah, we'll get to that
funny.
later.
But yeah, long story short, I didn't hate it, and I feel like that says a lot.
So if you like football movies and respect Tom Cruise as an actor, it means listeners at home, you'll probably really like it because Bella doesn't like football movies and she doesn't like Tom Cruise and she didn't hate it. So there's something.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what I did like. I really enjoyed the opening credits with Steph walking to school in the rain and the classic 80s theme song. Like, this is a great rainy day movie.
Yeah, it's very
moody.
Very moody.
So I enjoyed that. I also loved that their mascot was a bulldog. My high school was Bulldogs, and we also had a really grumbly, crusty old white bulldog who would come out on the field during games. So I appreciated that small element of it. And then I also really liked how the football games were shot. I loved their commitment to slow motion.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was great. I thought it was so much fun.
I liked this movie a lot, and I didn't know diddly squat about it besides reading, the log line. I thought it was endearingly 80s. Uneven, for sure. There were some moments that were like bordering on B movie in a really fantastic and enjoyable way. Like the character Salvucci using his boner to lift up the hood of the desk.
I forgot about that.
And then Tom Cruise slams the desk down and it like smashes his boner. I mean, that's just the kind of creativity we don't see in movies anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. And then you got like shortly after that, like 2 minutes later, they're like getting ready for practice and Steph's black teammates are teaching all the white teammates how to dance in the locker room. And they're all just dancing around, grinding their pelvises around, wearing nothing but their jock straps. And they're all like hairy and sweaty. And I mean, it's like, that's the kind of homoeroticism we don't see in movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hooked from there. I was just like, all right, this movie does not give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, it's a great time.
But the film also flirted with some really powerful themes. I think about like coming of age in a small town, seeing the end of the road, that perhaps you don't want to go down, and not really having control over it, which I thought was like, kind of powerful. I told Sonja last night, it reminded me of the song "The River" by Bruce Springsteen, one of my favorite songs ever. Heartbreaking, but beautiful track. And I was like, man, this is kind of like the embodiment of the river. And it didn't like fully go there, but it did flirt with those like heavy, heavy themes And when it was in that arena, I thought the movie really excelled. Basically, when Tom had to act and do character work, I thought it was very good. When it was like a football movie, I thought it was like, it's all right.
I mean, Tom Cruise playing football is just a little funny.
It's just, it's just like, that's a stretch.
yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree with you. I was really surprised by like the irony of the title in a way.
Mhm.
You know, it's like he's trying to make all the right moves, but everything is going wrong. And
Right.
everything he does is wrong, actually.
Right.
But yeah, the like character arc of him actually realizing, wow, I've been a piece of shit and I've been making all the wrong decisions, convincing myself that they're the right ones.
Right.
Was very coming of age, very great turnaround in my opinion.
What didn't work for you in this movie, Bella?
Oh, good question. I feel like for me, well, I thought it was funny that in a way I felt like it was equally balanced with that whole thing and football, but also trying to get into his girlfriend's pants.
Right.
Like him trying to get her to have sex with him was such a big piece of it. Which is also just very 80s, I feel like. And plays into the B movie thing that we're talking about.
I don't know if you ever attended high school, Bella, but I don't know. I know that was
big part of
my
it.
top 5 priorities in high school also. Trying to remember when we did those movies called
let me just say,
American Pie.
Oh, true. All set in high school. It is just funny within the context of like the first person, like he's like his best friend gets his girlfriend pregnant.
Right.
And can no longer live their dream that they've shared together.
Right.
So in a way I was like, well, then why is he still risking it for the biscuit? Like, I don't know. I was just like, this is so hard to watch.
This is this is the thing, Bella, that you don't understand.
Please enlighten me.
Men are stupid. You ever heard the expression young, dumb, and full of cum? Young, dumb, and full of cum. That's
basically what this movie should have been called.
Yes, I mean it is basically that is this movie in a nutshell.
Yeah,
young,
pretty much.
Dumb and full of cum in a mill town.
Yep, exactly. I will say I did love his girlfriend was really cute.
Oh, Leah Thompson's awesome.
Yeah, she was great, and I like that she would put him in his place.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that, just considering the era and the road we were going down. But yeah, I don't know. It's not. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I was too harsh on this film. I actually do think this is a great movie, and I think it's underrated. The fact that it's not very well known is kind of surprising to me.
Well, it bombed at the box office. And I mean, but like at the time, Tom Cruise was not a big star. This was before Risky Business. So, Chris Penn wasn't a star. Like all of these people who are now stars, Leah Thompson, Chris Penn, Tom Cruise, Craig T. Nelson, they were not stars at this time. So it was like, and then Michael Chapman was like, a very accomplished cinematographer, but people aren't flocking to the theater to be like, the cinematographer of Taxi Driver is directing a picture. Let's go, Jan. So it makes sense why it bombed, and then probably just didn't gain the cult following that some other pictures do that bomb at the box office. But I agree. I think it is underrated, and that's kind of also why I wanted to watch it and talk about it, was because I saw it on that list and I was like, this is one that I think not a lot of people bring up when they talk about great sports movies. So I thought we'd give it a fair shake.
Yeah, I'm happy we did.
Mm-hmm. Since we talked about it, well, let's just kind of go into it. The Gimme Three letterboxed reviews for All the Right Moves.
www.letterboxd.com. 1 star. 2 star. 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars.
As you mentioned, Bill, a good number of these Letterboxd reviews are about one scene and one scene in particular. So why fight it? Oliver gives the film 3 stars. And he said this would make a good double bill with Jerry Maguire, which is true. Another football adjacent movie starring Tom Cruise. But everyone is just here for Tom Cruise's penis, let's be honest. Kyle gives the film 2 stars. I like this one. He says, my girlfriend nailed that pause with reflexes rarely seen outside of professional athletics.
Amazing.
And then Ryan Chag also gives the film 3 stars and writes, Tom and Leah sex scene? No, Tom and Leah sax scene. That was another moment where it was kind of like roles reversed. Most of the time you have the guy outside the window of the girl, you know, throwing the rocks at the window. Please, baby, please, you know. But this one has got Leah outside Tom's window, and she's out there playing the fucking saxophone. It's like, God damn, how could you say no to that?
Seriously. Oh, so good.
Leah Thompson, by the way, stated she initially did not want to do this role because the script required her to do 2 nude scenes. She told IndieWire one time that the producers wanted her to show her breasts twice in the script. And originally she wasn't even going to audition for the part. But Tom Cruise persuaded the producers to drop one of those nude scenes. And then also said, okay, well, if she's going to be nude, you know, you should make it equal. I'll be nude. And then that made Leah Thompson be like, you know what? I respect this guy and I appreciate him going to bat for me. And that's pretty badass. And she ended up doing the movie.
That is pretty nice.
Another fun fact, they were obviously not in high school in this, Leah Thompson or Tom Cruise. And the producers wanted them to like do research, quote unquote. So they like had them like fake enrolled in high schools in Western Pennsylvania just to kind of like get the vibe of Western Pennsylvania kids for a while. And they got outed like immediately. It was like Never Been Kissed. Like people like noticed Leah Thompson was smoking, and like Tom Cruise had done like one movie before this. He was noticed in a day. They're like, you're fucking Tom Cruise. And it took like 4 days before they were like, you're Leah Thompson. So anyways, it was a nice idea, but it didn't exactly work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wonder if that's where they got the idea for Never Been Kissed. You ever seen Never Been Kissed?
I've never seen it. I need to watch that.
I'm sure that movie is so wildly inappropriate now. We must watch it.
Yeah, we should do like an episode of those kind of movies that just do not hold up.
Yeah. Anyways, any final thoughts on All the Right Moves?
Check it out. I would say this is worth the watch if you love football movies.
Yeah.
Or sports movies even.
Mm-hmm. The last thing I'll say is the last movie had an amazing soundtrack. The soundtrack of this movie is all very cheesy 80s ballads of songs you've never heard of in your life, and I think must have been written for the movie because the lyrics to all the songs are like on the nose about what's happening now. It's like, you're looking out the window and you're riding on the bus to the big game. It's like, what? It's like, what the fuck is what song is this? I've never heard of this.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so glad you mentioned that because I did write down, there's like, I would think it was the opening credits song. It's like, if we make the right moves, there's no way we can lose.
Right, yeah.
I was like, no, come on, guys.
And then when he's like trying to get his girlfriend's bed, he's like, this is the night for magic. Or maybe it's not. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So anyways.
They're very on the nose with the
very on the nose. All right. So All the Right Moves, it is available on demand. You could also check it out at your local video stores. If you live in Los Angeles, Vidiot's, Cinephile Video, and video tech are all fantastic options. It is worth a watch during this football season. All the right moves. And that's going to take us to a break. And during that break, you're going to hear from LADFF director, Gimme Three producer, and my wife, Sonja Mereu, for a segment that we call Sonja's Movie Minute. So stick around for that and much more right here on the Gimme Three podcast.
Hello, I'm Sonja, and this is my Movie Minute, the one where I don't talk about movies. It's that time of year. Football is here, and despite my intellectual desire to stop watching it, my love for my New Orleans Saints kicks in, and I can't help myself. I came to football in my mid-20s when I saw an interview with Drew Brees. Drew became the Saints quarterback in the 2006 season. A year earlier, the world saw the results of neglect, greed, incompetence, and racism rip New Orleans apart during Hurricane Katrina, and it had profoundly affected me. Oddly, I felt even more connected with the people and city of New Orleans, a place I had never been, than I did seeing the events and aftermath of 9/11 in New York, the city I'm from. I'll chalk it up to the fact that I lived in New Orleans in a past life. So getting back to Drew, he's a little guy by football standards, and he had been seriously injured during his time on the Chargers. So after a promising start to his career, he was kind of in the dumps, and the Saints were the only team that wanted him. The Saints had been homeless for the past year as the city and the Superdome were rebuilt, and their record and morale reflected that. They'd only won 3 games the season after Katrina. I remember Drew saying that the city was taking a chance on him, and he wanted to give everything of himself to the city and its people, to make them winners, to make the city whole again. I was so moved by Drew's words and his earnest belief that he and the game of football could save a city that right then and there I declared that I was a Saints fan, and I started watching all of their games. Well, as they say, the rest is history. Steve Gleason made the epic blocked punt during the first game back in NOLA, a play that the city calls the Rebirth and has even memorialized in a statue outside of the Superdome. On February 7th, 2010, the Saints won their first and currently only Super Bowl, starting the second half with a shocking onside kick that only Sean Payton could dream up. These last few years have been rough since Drew retired, and the Saints have been feeling a lot more like the Aints of yore. But as I learn each year, I just can't quit them. So I hope for a good season, but even if it isn't, I'm still and always a proud citizen of Who Dat Nation.
It's the Gimme Three podcast, and it's football season, baby. Today we're talking about football films, high school football films in particular. Before the break, we discussed Remember the Titans and All the Right Moves. Now, it's the film that you, our listeners, our adoring and wonderful listeners voted for. Right, Bella?
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, guys. We're keeping the theme going. We're closing out the season. Not on a high note. With Peter Berg's 2004 sports drama, Friday Night Lights, based on H.G. Bissinger's book. The film dives headfirst into the pressure cooker of high school football in a small town America, deep in the heart of the South, in Odessa, Texas, to be exact, where football is not just a sport, it's a religion.
Mm-hmm.
And every Friday night, the entire town turns out to watch their team, the Permian High Panthers. Billy Bob Thornton stars as Coach Gary Gaines, a man whose job and entire reputation depends on the success of a group of teenage boys. His main roster includes quarterback Mike Winchell, played by Lucas Black, who seems to suffer under the crushing weight of carrying the team on his shoulders, Boobie Miles, played by Derek Luke, the star running back, always floating on cloud 9 as he's destined for college ball and a ticket out of Odessa, and fullback Don Billingsley, who frequently struggles to keep a grip on the ball with his abusive, alcoholic ex-high school football star dad constantly breathing down his neck. It's the opening game, and things take a devastating turn when Boobie suffers a career-ending knee injury. a goddamn ACL tear.
Mm-hmm. The dreaded
Within
ACL.
That dreaded ACL, man. It's game over. Within the first moments of the season, the team has to rebuild its identity, and Coach Gaines has to hold together not just his players, but an entire town that treats these literal children like professional athletes. It's a real dark side of the game, delivering hard truths about the pressure these kind of football-crazed towns put on their kids to perform, the sacrifices these kids are forced to make, and the utter heartbreak of dreams cut short. Every win feels monumental, every loss feels catastrophic, and every game takes years off of Coach Gaines' life.
Yeah.
The season builds to the state championship, where the Panthers face Dallas Carter, an absolute powerhouse of a team. It's a brutal, nail-biting showdown shot with the kind of intensity that forces you to feel the deadly impact of every tackle. Straying from the usual sports trope of winning the final game, there are no fairy tale endings in Friday Night Lights. The Panthers lose in the final moments of the game. This may not have been their year, but the team's legacy lives on, and the players hold on to the fleeting glory of high school football in a town that worships it. Well, Nick, what were your thoughts on Friday Night Lights?
Had
Had you seen this one before?
I had seen it before, yeah. I had seen it.
Oh.
I think when it came out.
So you knew what we were getting into.
I knew what we were getting into, yeah. I mean, I like this movie. I think it's very intense, and I think it really explores the ugliness of football in a way that most movies don't explore.
Yeah.
I think there's that movie Concussion, and they got this new horror movie that's coming out called Him. That's those seem to be about the darker sides of football, but this is a grounded film that really balances, I think, what makes football great, what makes it very ugly, and what makes it very sad, and every definition of sad under the sun.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, high school football in Texas is kind of like, it's a little freaky. It's like Catholicism in Vatican City, man. It is like, it is the culture there. It's what people do. It is their sense of identity. This film, I think, highlights what's wrong with that.
Yeah.
It kind of, so yeah, I mean, I watch this movie and that's what I see. And that's what I take away from it. I see other people watch this movie and they think of it as like, oh man, it's badass, or oh man, it's like a great football movie. It's just like great football scenes, which in my opinion, the football scenes are shot tremendously. Like that final championship game sequence is absolutely pulse pounding and like some of the most brutal shots of football you'll ever see. But this movie kind of reminds me of like Wolf of Wall Street, where a lot of, dude bros watch Wolf of Wall Street and they're like, fuck yeah, man, those guys are fucking badass. And it's like, I think you missed the point of the movie.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
So anyways, I like the movie. It's not like my favorite football movie by any means. It's not my favorite sports movie by any means. And it's not really one that like, what people are like, oh, you love sports movies, what's your favorite sports movies? It's not really one that I think of. But every time, this is like the third time I've watched it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, Peter Berg did a good job. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like I loved these, or not loved. I loved Remember the Titans, and I liked the other two a lot more because I felt like they balanced more of like things outside of football.
This movie is like 75% football scenes.
Yes, which is which is unfortunate specifically for me because my brain just tunes out. So it's
fair.
not a very like valid representation of the film itself. It's just my personal opinion. So yeah, I struggled with this one.
Yeah. Fair.
But I also went into it with a fairly negative attitude, I will say, just because I had zero interest in this one compared to some of the others. It was the last one I watched too, which I think played a role because a lot of the themes they touch on, I felt like I had just seen in All the Right Moves,
Right.
which I liked more.
Right.
So I was kind of just like, oh, this is a rip off of this, and like, which it's not, but that's just how I felt watching it. But I actually think you made some really good points. It definitely made me. I feel like I took exactly the same messages away from it as you were saying. Like it made me think a lot about, like, reflect a lot on the toxic culture of football. But yeah, the flip side of that is kind of scary to think about. It's like people being like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right.
Like
right.
that's frightening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I will say, I don't know, I struggled with the cinematography and the editing. I felt like it was very dedicated to I don't know what to call it, but like I just call it the succession effect, where it's like constantly zooming in and out on its subjects at all times.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
very chaotic.
It's very chaotic, which I get that's like the point of it. But
and it works, I think, for the football scenes, but when it's like when there's like dramatic scenes and they're doing it, it's like, all right, did you just stop for a second?
It felt constant.
Yeah.
And that made me start like treating it in my brain as like, oh, this is edited like a reality cooking competition show where they're legally not allowed to have a shot on the screen for longer than like 3 to 4 seconds or some bullshit. Like, I don't know. I get that they were going for that kind of dizzying, chaotic effect. But it was just, it got to a point where I was like, this is too much.
Yeah, I totally feel you.
Yeah, it was just too much. Like, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Hurt Locker's cinematography.
Right.
Which I must admit, I actually do like that movie, and I think it works well. But it's like, you know, we're not defusing bombs in Iraq. Like we're
Right.
playing high school football. It's Friday Night Lights, guys. Let's be real. But I mean, like you said, football in Texas, it's a different beast.
There's goddamn war out there. So.
It's a war. So, you know, there's good things. There's also things that just didn't personally work for me. What I did really like, and I shouldn't even say like, it's maybe more like what drew me into the film was Booby. I thought he was a great character, and I thought he had by far the best performance in the film.
Yeah.
I knew something bad was going to happen to him.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were going to straight up kill him off, but but the injury is so brutal. I can't handle sports injuries. It hurts my heart too much.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a scene. So he tears his ACL, and the doctors are like, yo, we think it's ACL tear. And he's like, no. He goes to this other doctor in Midland, and they're like, yep, it's an ACL tear. And he's like screaming at the doctor. It's like just totally distraught. And there's this, I think, in my opinion, like you probably, aside from the championship game, the two best scenes in the movie are back to back, and it's Booby going into the locker room and like playing it cool, and he's like giving his teammates, you know, dabs, and he's like, here, hang on to that. It's his name plays, like that's gonna be worth a lot of money. But there's like little moments where he's like pulling the magazine of like fancy cars out of his locker, and you just, without saying anything, you just tell like, God damn, this kid had fucking dreams, dude. And it was like, it wasn't like in All the Right Moves where it's like, all right, this kid has dreams, but maybe he doesn't actually have the talent. Like this kid had the talent. And so anyways, he's like, you know, still playing up the confident, arrogant, like nothing phases me attitude. And then he goes out to the car and gets in the car with his uncle.
Now what we gonna do? I can't do nothing else but play football.
Hey, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about I can't be doing nothing else.
Be all right, son.
I can't do nothing else but play football. What? We practiced, did we? We practiced. You told me you was gonna go to the pro. I know I'm gonna do it on my knee.
Somebody else. Don't worry about it, son.
No, I went down to buy you a house.
It's heartbreaking because it's like that's the story of so many young men, unfortunately, because they dedicate their life to one sport or another, and their folks, their families put in so much money into it, and either they don't make it because, like, I don't know what, right, 1% or 2% of people actually make it into the pros, and that, or B, they're putting their bodies on the line, so an injury just ends the whole thing. So it was a really, that scene is unforgettable to me every time I watch the movie. It's like a scene that I'm both looking forward to and not looking forward to. Not looking forward to because it's so heartbreaking. Looking forward to for Derek Luke's performance, who I love. Derek Luke. He was, speaking of Denzel, he was in Denzel Washington's directorial debut, Antoine Fisher.
No way.
Tremendous film. He's the lead in that, which if you haven't seen that, check that out.
Oh, wow. I definitely will. Because, he really stood out in this film.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I hear all your critiques. And yeah, if you don't like football, or you don't like even, I was thinking about you while watching it, because the football scenes, they just assume you know everything about football.
Oh, yeah, that was another big thing. I was just like, well, now I'm gone because I don't know.
So shit's just happening. Flags are just like, it's a holding, and you're just like, oh, God damn. Oh, God. It's just like all this shit. And I thought about it. I was like, if you don't know the rules of football, you'd be lost. You'd be totally lost during these sequences. So, yeah. So if you are not a fan of football, like Bella, you probably won't like it because, yeah, it is like mostly football scenes and and a lot of stuff happening, and there's like 20Z X right, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck?
I kept pausing it and being like, Jonathan, what is this?
What did Jonathan think of this? Had he seen it before?
I don't think he'd seen it. He wasn't interested in watching it. He was just in and out. So I don't know. I can't say, but I think he was respectfully disappointed in our audience. He was rooting for Any Given Sunday or The Longest Yard. He was like, those are two of my favorites. Yeah. So I think he had a bias thing going on there. A vendetta.
Sonja wanted Any Given Sunday also.
Yeah, I was curious to check it out, but this is, Friday Night Lights. It's not like I've heard of it.
Yeah, well,
obviously
they made
a classic.
TV show.
They made a TV show. Yeah. I could not get through that, respectfully.
We just had an audible shudder.
Yeah. Scary. My personal thoughts on it are specific to my feelings towards football. So don't let this deter you from the film. But would definitely be curious to hear what people think of it.
And frankly, you're as much as I love football, and as much as the Green Bay Packers are my religion, I am in fact a shareholder of the Green Bay Packers.
Amazing.
The feelings and thoughts that you have towards football are not wrong. I'm just in too deep,
Aren't we all?
So anyways, I wish I could quit you football, but I can't.
You're gonna Brokeback Mountain this?
I'm gonna Brokeback Mountain it. The last thing I'll say when I was watching this movie is like, as I talked about, it shows like kind of like it's the same thing with All the Right Moves. It shows that dead end road,
Yes, yeah.
You know who I thought about?
Who?
I thought about Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. And I was like, oh, everybody laughs at Uncle Rico. Oh, he's so funny. Look at Uncle Rico. What an idiot. It's like, that's a fucking sad man.
That's a very sad man.
That is a sad hombre, man. Like he had it all in front of him, and an injury took it away from him. Like everybody makes fun of Uncle Rico. Oh, Uncle Rico, you're an idiot. It's like, what have you done with your life, Napoleon? You fucking jackass. Why don't you comb your hair? Get some goddamn clothes. Clean yourself up, you punk.
That's a great take, honestly.
Friday Night Lights. It's available to stream on Netflix. So check it out. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of all of these football films. What's your favorite football film? We want to hear from you. There's a few ways to get a hold of us. One, you can send us a text message. You can scroll down to our episode description and click the link that says, send us a text message. Two, you can go to our Instagram. Type in Gimme Three Podcast. That's where you can find us on Instagram. We got stories. We've got polls. You can vote for movies that we're going to talk about. People voted for Friday Night Lights, even though Bella buried it. We did it for you.
You guys hold all the power.
You hold the power of what we watch.
We are puppets, mere puppets.
Yes, absolutely. We want to hear what you guys want us to watch. So please let us know on Instagram or via text. If you like the show, if you like what we do, there's a few ways to support it. One, set our episodes to automatically download. That way, you can listen to the show whenever you're in the air or whenever you're away from Wi-Fi. You can listen to the Gimme Three podcast, and downloading our episodes really helps out the show. Number two, we do have a Patreon for a mere $5 a month. Support the show on Patreon. $5. It helps keep the mics on, and there's some bonus content on there as well. And number three, just tell your friends about us. If they like movies, they may want to hear about the Gimme Three podcast. Bella, do you want to tell the lovely folk where they can find you on the social media?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram at Portrait of a Cinephile or on Letterboxd at BFstratus.
You can find me on Letterboxd, on Instagram, or on Blue Sky at Nicholas Ibarra. Ibarra is spelled with a Y. I want to thank you all for listening to the Gimme Three podcast, and we will see you at the movies.